As a motion graphics artist trying to stay within a tight budget, you have pretty much two options available to you. The first is to create the majority of the assets you need yourself, and the second is to find them for free on the internet, but making sure you can still use them commercially. All of this comes down to licensing, and if you choose the second option, the two biggest words for you is going to be the words Creative Commons. In this video, I'll explain what Creative Commons is, as well as some of the best places to find good Creative Commons content, as well as a few other websites where you can get assets that you can use commercially for free. Now, when you're using Creative Commons imagery, you want to make sure that you're getting the proper Creative Commons license. The smallest Creative Commons license is just here. It's a CC BY, which is an attribution license. That just means you need to say, oh, and I used this image that was by this person. If it's underneath the Creative Commons BYSA, that's share alike, that means that if you use any work that's under that license, it means you have to publish your work under that license too, which means your work would be available underneath the Creative Commons attribution share alike license. If there is a no derivatives, that means the license allows for redistribution, commercial and non-commercial, as long as it is passed along unchanged in whole with credit to whoever created the thing in the first place. So this means that, for example, you wouldn't be able to use that picture of a cheetah, cut the cheetah out and like put it into some other kind of background and turn it into a new work. It would need to stay in the form that it was in when you got it. Non-commercial, if you're making any sort of money, that means you can't use that image if it's underneath a non-commercial license. And then everything else is just a mixture of those other licenses. So, attribution, non-commercial, share alike, attribution, non-commercial, no derivatives, etc. So depending upon what the license is, you always want to make sure that it's going to fit within the uses that you have. I would suggest, in general, always just go for an attribution license, because that means, you can use it commercially, you can do whatever you want with the image, you can remix it, manipulate it, whatever, and those are going to be the best things for you to use. When it comes to finding any sort of free images in general, one of the best websites you can come to is freeimages.com. And it sounds like a really scammy website. It used to be known as Stock Exchange, if you've ever used that before. But it's actually a really, really good website. It's a little hit and miss on different kinds of stock imagery that you might need. But all in all, it's a really good site that is pretty clear about licensing and things like that. What you need to do is you need to come down here and right here where it says availability, look for standard restrictions apply and anything else that might come after it. If it just says standard restrictions apply, that means it's totally fine for you to use in any project commercially with a few exceptions. Another place you can look for photos and textures is a place called cgtextures.com. This place is wonderful. They have a huge, huge, huge variety of textures available for you to use. So here you get everything from abstract animals, bones, brick, buildings. They randomly have a bunch of stuff from Cambodia. Concrete, different decals. You can see this little checkered box in the background here. This means that there's alpha present, so you can even find lots of assets that have an alpha channel. Different things like that, ink, grunge, different kinds of textures, signs. I've used this site for literally probably hundreds of projects before, and it's my go-to site whenever I need any kind of texture of any kind. If it's not here, usually it's pretty much hard to find anywhere else for free at a high resolution. So you are a little bit restricted. At a free account, you're restricted to 15 megabytes a day, but and you can't get the largest size images. So here, if we search cheetah, they actually have an image of a cheetah here, and one or four actually, part of a set. And here, if you log into download, you can see all the different sizes. So depending upon whether or not you want smaller resolution or larger resolution images, because you get only 15 megabytes each day again. So if you don't need a larger sized image, you can download a smaller one and it'll use less of that data allocation. One more great site where you can find a lot of Creative Commons photos is a place like Flickr. If I just search for cheetah, then go to advanced search, and then come down here, Creative Commons, there's a whole little section for it. I say only search within Creative Commons licensed content, and then you can check content used commercially, and then content to modify, adapt, or build upon. So then we click search, and then all of these are licensed under that. And since they're posted to Flickr under that license, you can know that since they're only uploaded by those users themselves, that all of these ought to be able to be used, like I said, commercially. So those are the best places for you to really look for different Creative Commons stuff. There's other places out there, but these are the websites that I usually use as my direct go-tos for finding free assets when I'm operating underneath a tight budget. Hope that helps, and happy creating.